Hello, how is everybody? Sorry, I was a few minutes late there, just getting organized. The last minute I have things being sent to me that I have to follow through on. So say hello if you're here, just to make sure that I'm seeing the comments. The date is July the 10th and it's 4:01 p.m. The remnants of the hurricane just arrived in Toronto, so it's been raining most of the day. It looks cloudy, but I think it's stopped raining right now. Hi Jenny, how are you? How's the weather where you are? It's really overcast. It was just pouring rain out. I was running out taking all my house plants so they could get some nice water. And now it's stopped, but it looks like it's going to start raining again. We have a giant amusement park called Canada's Wonderland, and they're closing early because of the rain. I guess it's really dangerous, right? Being on outdoor rides with torrential downpours. Hi Jane, how are you? Hi Trent, hi Lynn. I hope the weather's good where you are. We've had amazing, I think today's only what, about 66 degrees. So the humidity's gone, thank goodness, because we had a crisis with our air conditioning during the heat wave. But now we have air conditioning. Now the temperature went down. 90 degrees and sunny and dry. Oh, lovely. We're supposed to have a nice weekend, so I'm looking forward to that, having a lovely weekend. Did anybody have any questions they wanted to ask me or any comments? I was going to take a few minutes and kind of share some of the things that I have to offer, because I usually do that at the end, but I thought I'd do that at the beginning today. Trent is saying super hot and humid here on the North Carolina coast. Yeah, it's that humidity. I'm glad we've got a little break with that humidity. It's just overwhelming, especially when our air conditioner wasn't working. Oh, Lynn, has rain there? Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how the flooding is, but there were flood warnings. I haven't really put the news on. Hi, Sydney, how are you? I think this might be your first time here. I don't recognize your name, so welcome. How are you? I was just asking everybody about the weather where they are, and I just wanted to see if anyone had any questions about mediumship or anything kind of metaphysical. I'll see if I can answer, or I can tell you about my experience. Trent's asking, how do you know the difference between coincidence and actual signs from loved ones? First thing is, you know in your gut. Very often when you're receiving a sign, you might have been just thinking about that person. And for myself, when you get a sign that's like, oh my goodness, it's like you stop and you know. So it's like kind of in your gut, your intuition. So there is a big difference. There is a big difference. So for example, I don't know, I bring this one up quite a lot, but my dad had just passed away. So of course he was on my mind because I was in the community where he lived with my mom. I had just gone to visit my mom and I said I'd pick up a few things at the grocery store. So it was like tootling along, and it was really busy because it was COVID, right? And you think it wouldn't be busy, but it was busy with a lot of people shopping at this time with their carts, trying to get everything they needed because they didn't want to have to go back to do more grocery shopping the following week. And I had this gentleman bumped into my buggy, and he said, oh my goodness, you know what we need? We need a traffic cop. And I went, oh, and I turned totally white and I just froze, because my dad was a traffic cop. So I knew that was not a coincidence. Why would that gentleman say that to me? And I was like, I stopped and I was just staring at him because I thought he was going to say something else. That, oh my God, what's he going to say next? And I just knew that was a sign from my dad saying, I'm aware you're with mom, you're taking care of her, you're at the grocery store, thank you. So that was a sign. There was no question about that. I think my hair stood on end with that one. I had another one too where I was going to visit my mom, and I pulled into the Tim Hortons parking lot because usually I would go and I would get my mom like a newspaper in the community, and you know, I would get her her favorite muffin, and I'd get her a coffee. So I just parked the car, and then I looked up and it was like, I saw in giant letters this new business had opened up, and it said R-O-N. And I just looked, I turned the car, I looked up, I went R-O-N. I'm like, oh my God, that's my dad's name. And then I got out of the car to go to the convenience store to get my mom the newspaper, and there's the biggest feather I ever saw lying there right in front of the door. So to me, they were signs from my dad saying, I'm around you, I'm supporting you, thank you for what you're doing. There was no question about it. So I hope that kind of helps. Oh, Cindy saying it's hot there. Hello, how are you? Nanona? I hope I said that right. I hope I said that right. Hi, Lynn, how are you? Hi, Shannon. There we go, Lynn. My dad was a traffic cop as well. Isn't that funny? Yeah, absolutely. And I've done readings for, I don't know if Valerie's on, for Valerie, and her father was a police officer. I'm like, oh my goodness. And it was funny because I said to Valerie, I think my dad knows your dad on the other side. And he just assisted in that reading that I gave her. I thought that was the coolest thing. So you just know in your gut, right? This is not some kind of random thing. This means something. 90s in New Mexico. Why? Wow. Hi, Kathleen. How are you? Hi, Diana. Hi, Lynn. I got lots of stories like that. I used to write them all down, and then I was like, there's just so many. And I think I told you about the story too with my mom in hospice, and the doctor was just, telling us, what was happening, and, that she was comfortable and how much longer he thought she had. So I'm sitting in the chair, I'm there with all my siblings, I'm looking out the window, and there's a blue jay sitting on the branch looking right in the window. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's Dad. He's checking in to make sure everything's okay. He's there, he's waiting for Mom when she's gonna cross over. And then as soon as the doctor left, the bird kind of like, and flew away. And just to let you know, my dad loved the blue jays. So for my family, seeing a blue jay is a sign of my dad. So that's just another one. I knew that was not a random blue jay looking in the window, listening to what the doctor was saying about my mom's health conditions. That was my dad. I know 150%. And I've got lots of those things. Lots of examples of things like that. Not so often now, but in the early, I'd say the first year, maybe year and a half, my dad passed, and then my mom passed 2 years later. I got an awful lot of signs from my dad. It was just about support and helping, everybody move forward. Now it's a little bit more quieter, and that's okay because I know my parents are doing learning and other things on the other side. Yeah. So lots of stories like that. And it's amazing just to write them down because you forget it so easily and you think, am I losing my mind? Did that really happen? Or did I imagine that? But yeah, does anyone have a sign that they'd like to share? I wanted to share this dream just to see if anyone else has had this. It was 3 nights ago. It was 3 a.m. I woke up from a deep sleep because I heard the doorbell ring. And I actually turned to my side, I said to my husband, somebody's at the door. Can you go see who it is? He's like, what are you talking about? I said, didn't you hear the doorbell? It was so loud. He said, no, there was no doorbell. And just lying there in bed, waiting to see if the doorbell would ring again. And it never did ring again. But that was just a couple nights ago. And I'm still trying to put some meaning to that. So what I got from that was it's like an invitation, change is coming. There's going to be new arrivals, new things happening in my life. But I've never experienced that before. It actually woke me up from a deep sleep. The loudest doorbell I've ever heard. Lynn, I just had that happen with a bird. Didn't think it was a hummingbird, just looking in the window, there you go. Flapping in the air as I was talking. about my dog who passed recently. Oh, Lynn, that's so beautiful. And you know, just that you're bringing up pets, I've had lots of signs from my my pet. When my dog's name was Snoopy, and if I told you all, I would see like the character Snoopy. I'd see the name Snoopy. There'd be a commercial. There'd be a new Snoopy. It was like, oh my Lord. It was like everywhere around me. And he was just saying to me, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm around you. It's so awesome. But yeah, watch those birds for sure. Lynn said she's had many signs. Diana, I had that happen when a robin, and I know it. Ah, that's so beautiful. Aren't robins beautiful? They're so beautiful. And I had that robin for a little bit. We had our agreement. Now she's on her way. She's doing her nest somewhere else. She can't do it under my gazebo anymore. Absolutely. Jane, I found a card from my son a couple weeks ago. It said, remember, I'll love you. There you go. And you were meant to find that, Jane, right? That inspiration. Ah, that's so beautiful. And that's what our loved one spirit does on the other side, to bring us those messages. So never question them. If anything, I just stop and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a sign. And then I'll just acknowledge it, because I want that to continue to happen. I'll say, thank you so much. I got that message. I love you too. Or I'm glad you're okay. Or don't worry, I'm going to go visit mom this weekend. Or, you know, I'm having all my siblings for Christmas. Everything's going to be okay, etc. Shannon, my grandson just celebrated his birthday. He was named after my daughter's best friend, John Brown, that passed a few, let me see if I can get this Seymour. Darn it. I always have trouble with this Seymour. Sorry, Shannon. I know there's a sign that Shannon had. It just does. Oh, there we go. It just worked. That passed a few years ago. Nikki was at the birthday party and received a Facebook friend request from a John Brown. When she went to click on the name, isn't that interesting? That's very cool. I've had some weird things too, like with my digital phone, like all of a sudden a picture will pop up of my dad or whatever. And I know there's the digital things like, what is it, every year, every month? It's like some weird thing with the photos. But the fact that as soon as I was thinking of him and I clicked on it and it came up, it was like, whoa, like it was meant to be. I was drawn to look at my phone at that moment. Yes, it's going on 25 years since he's, wow, transitioned. I had another really interesting thing happen to me the other day, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I wish I had shared that TikTok with my sisters. So, you know, the passing of my mom was very traumatic, to put it mildly. And I don't know, for some reason, I just went on TikTok and this one popped up and it was a tarot card reading. I know there wasn't a person because I just saw the card. I know it was a woman reading the message from this card. I can't remember what the card was. And basically she said, I want you to know that I was in pain, that I was ready to leave my body. I want you to know that I recognize and I was aware of everything that you did for me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, it was like a direct message from my mother to me. I had like chills all over my body. I was kind of so worked up. I couldn't even really think I think it took me like a day to kind of recover from that. And then I happened to mention it to my sisters and I just could not find that TikTok reading. It was exactly, I just knew that was my mom. And the most beautiful part about that it was showing that my mom is done learning on the other side and she was able to acknowledge these things for like the first time. So for me, whoever did that TikTok, I think I was the person, one of many people I think that needed to hear that message. So thank you. It brought me so much healing in that moment. It was a true blessing. And that was not random. That was definitely not random. Let's see. Trent says also a cat. Oh yes, Wild World. Remember that? That was such a long time. Yeah, I remember. I remember the Wild World. I remember that because I was just hearing the lyrics in my head. I'm like, what is this song? What is this about? So awesome. So awesome when they do that. So I hope you kind of alert, aware when you hear that song, if you're, at the mall, if you're in a restaurant, etc. That would definitely not be, some random thing that popped up. Hi, Lynn, how are you? Hi, Tiffany. Cheryl, I saw a floaty white spirit thing this morning. I blinked my eyes a lot and it appeared again. Wow, that's kind of interesting. So it's a possibility, perhaps, that spirit is just kind of like testing you. Are you aware we're here? It's even a possibility they could be working on your clairvoyance, helping to develop your clairvoyance. They're working on that for it to get stronger. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? That's kind of interesting. I have to admit this, something weird's going on right now, like with my doorbell waking me up. And then, my husband was scammed out of some money. And I have to admit, I'd be walking around the house and I'm like, I think I just saw something go by. But I'm noticing that. So I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's new energies that we're starting to pick up on. I don't know if the spirit world's just kind of upping our clairs, like increasing our clairs, expanding them, so we're seeing things we couldn't see before. But I've had a few of those experiences. I really haven't told anybody. I'm like, what was that? And I actually thought I had to look. So I'm kind of experiencing things like that too. Trent, I will send you an email of an orb I have on video, and when you enlarge it, oh my goodness, Trent, that is so amazing. Isn't that incredible? I tell you, the intelligence of the spirit world and our loved ones. So never think that you're separated, that you'll never have communication with them again. They're learning how to do that. And I truly believe this. They'll find their own style, their own way, how they want to communicate. So it could be something humorous. It could be a bird, because they were connected to birds. They love birds. It could be like an orb. It could be music. It could be so many, it could be a license plate. It could be a random individual that bumps into you and says, what we need is a traffic cop. It can be so many different ways that they come through to give us communication. That's amazing, Trent. Oh, Lynn's just asking, how do you raise your vibration? For sure, it's meditation. A lot of people think, oh boy, can't do that. But it's through meditation, sitting in the silence. And you can find like 5-minute meditations on YouTube, 10 minutes, whatever length you want, and just practice sitting in the silence. Why do you need to do that? Because you're getting rid of the monkey mind, right? You're connecting with your inner self, your spirit self. So when you're able to do that, then you have this awareness of what's happening around you. And it just automatically, it lifts your vibration to a higher state. So you can be more aware of what's happening around you. That's the simple answer to that, Lynn. I hope that helps you. Meditation, walking in nature, self-care, self-love. We never love ourselves enough. Like, really take care of yourself. Walk in nature, surrender, just be in the silence. Watch your emotions, right? Have a positive mindset. You can even do things like automatic writing, or you can try using like oracle or tarot cards to get messages from your loved ones, or even your guide. So there's so many things you can do, but it's from a place of love, gratitude, humility, peace. It's quite different. I've probably said this before, but when I started mediumship, it totally changed my world. Totally changed. And people would recognize and they'd say to me, something's different about you. Did you get your hair cut? And I could just laugh. It's like, no, I'm meditating, but I'm not going to tell them that. Random people would say, could you help me with this? Or hi, how, like, because they're just tuning into your increased, your vibration, that your aura is uplifting. So you'll get positive people that are attracted to you. I tell you, your whole life does change. It really does. And, you know, you don't even have to start with meditating every day. Meditate every other day. Meditate on the weekends. You know, and some of my strategies are wear my earphones. I always have my earphones. One of my strategies is I would use my earphones just to cover my ears to kind of block noise. And I would, oh, I don't have them here. I have a little eye, so I have my earphones on, my eye mask on. And usually we have a little solarium in our new house. I would sit in this, funny, I would sit in the sun, so I would feel the heat, got my earphones on, got my eye coverings, and I would just sit, right? I put in my intention, right? My intention is to sit in the silence, right? Sit in the power, raise my vibration. I surrender to the spirit world, and then that's all you got to do. Then that gives the opportunity for the spirit world, your guide, to get to know you. Maybe there's some things that you want changed, or some things they want to tweak for you. Maybe open one of your clairs, your clairvoyance a little bit more, or your clairaudience, your hearing. But it's spirit really can't get through if you have those blocks and you're in that busy, stressed out world and you're thinking about the past or you're thinking about the future. It's about being in the current moment. I hope that did help, Lynn. I could go in a whole spill about that. And it's ongoing, right? Some days, like, I kind of struggle. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of off here today. I've got to meditate. Something's off today. So it's what is that? Self-awareness, I guess. Self-awareness is really important in raising your vibration, sustaining a high vibration, especially today with all the crazy things going on. Yeah. Any other questions? Hi, Lise. How are you? Oh, how are you? I was just talking about your lovely husband. I was just bringing up this story about the gentleman at the grocery store after my dad passed, and he bumped into my grocery cart and said, "What we need is a traffic cop," because my dad was a traffic cop. So, and someone else mentioned that they have a loved one who's in law enforcement also. So what I thought I would just take a moment to mention, I'm just going to mention some of my spiritual services. So what I'm planning on doing for August is I'm going to offer some free development circles. Now these circles, I invite all my past and my present students to join, and it's really for individuals who have some kind of mediumship training. So that's going to take place the end of July, August. So that's going to be happening. So keep a lookout for that. Also, my mediumship class just finished up last night. I'm going to be offering a new development class. I believe it's going to be Tuesday evenings. I'm looking at Tuesdays right now, beginning September 10th for 6 weeks. So if you're interested in, experimenting, seeing if this is something that would work for you, that's going to be happening in September, 7:30 to 9 EST or my time, Toronto time. I also offer mentorship, and that can be for a variety of things. I've done some mentorship for individuals who are grieving a loss of a pet, or individuals who's had a pet that's close to transitioning. Also, clients who want to connect with their loved ones in spirit, etc. So not only humans, but also pets. I even recently had a client who wanted me to connect in with their guides. We did some of that work too. So mentorship is, we meet and we discuss what your needs are for that. I also offer mediumship readings, as you know, as well as soul readings. And I'm so excited about this new service. I was kind of working on it today. I haven't put it on my website yet, but it's called Life Plan Navigation. So what will happen, my client will come to me with a particular issue. So this is human, right? Not spirit. So it might be, for example, maybe anxiety or difficulty in relationships, or doesn't know the next step for the career. It can be a whole bunch of things. It can also include adults as well as children. So it could be a child with ADHD, a child experiencing bullying, going to a new school, or even a pet who's having behavior issues or health issues. And what happens is we meet and we do a soul to soul connection in which we look at your life path. We look for the blocks, we remove the blocks, and we realign things so you can manifest the life that you are meant to lead. So I'm so excited to be able to do that. So I'm going to be offering that soon. It's all in the works right now. So look for that. I guess I'm really excited because I wanted to share that today about that. The other thing that's coming up, I'll be at the Church of Universal Love November 10th, the First Spiritual Church of Galt on November the 24th, and the London Spiritual Church on Zoom for Canadian Thanksgiving on October 13th. I should have said that before because that comes before November. So I have a few events coming up also. Let me just see any comments here. Lisa said, not too bad. So busy with the moving at the, yes. Yeah, for sure. Moving. That's challenging. I also want to ask you, are there certain things that you're interested in? I'm just putting it out there to audience members, people that I trust. Are there certain things that you're looking for in terms of services or personal development? I'd just be interested. Are many of you interested right now in perhaps doing mediumship development, or perhaps looking into, working on your life path, removing blocks here to live, your authentic life to your fullest potential? I'm just interested, your thoughts on that. If anybody has any thoughts on that, that would be really cool. Oh, Jenny. Okay, good. So just keep me in mind. I'm sure you know my website, right? Just wendydeangelo.com. I haven't posted it for the September one. And for example, if you do go to my website and the times don't work for you, or the days or whatever, you're always welcome to email me and just make suggestions. And I don't want to speak for my students, but my students are doing really, really well. I'm just so pleased with their development. I had one student, I don't think he would mind me saying this, but I had one student who was really reluctant, and I taught a workshop at a spiritual church, and he said to me, "Are you sure I can do this? I don't think I can do this." I said, "Yes, you can. Yes, you can." And he is just awesome. He's coming along. It's that trust, that faith, working with your guide, and he's just awesome. And it means so much to me to be able to just see that, to help the next generation of mediums. And even if you don't decide to become a professional medium, you can do mediumship for family and friends, or maybe it's something you just want to do for yourself and you just want to learn more about it. And I've said this before, and I truly believe this, that humanity is evolving, and this will be something that everyone will be able to do. This kind of telepathy, channeling information here on the earth plane, as well as with the spirit world. I think that's the direction we're going. That's the future for sure. Oh, Cheryl said she'd be interested too. Okay, cool. And Jenny, yes, I would definitely look for you to get the information. Okay. All right. Thank you. And it just reminds me when I started, I started a long time ago. There was no such thing as mediumship. It was the occult. It was the supernatural. It was haunted houses. And for years I looked and I didn't know where to go. And I was reading books on hauntings that really had nothing to do with mediumship. And then eventually I found my very first teacher, which was meant to be, definitely meant to be. So, I feel part of my role is to assist others, to empower others so they can start their spiritual journey. So there was my little speech there. I hope that was okay. Any other questions or comments? I'm just going to watch the time. Okay, it's 4:30. Oh, my journey. Wow. You know what? I really think I started when I was young. Maybe I just remember being about 12 years old, and at night I'd look out my bedroom window at the stars, and I'd say in my head, I'd say to the sky, like, what is this all about? What is life about? Like, what happens when you pass away? Where do you go? And that was the beginning of it. I just had so many questions, and I knew there was something more. And, you know, I had like, I always say I was very shy, but I think I was picking up on energies around me, and I didn't know what that was as a child. So, and then when did it begin? Whew, I would say at least 15 years ago. And if you remember, right, I had a career, so I couldn't really practice. Mediumships was kind of learning on the weekends, being a teacher. And then I became a professional medium, I guess maybe about 3 years ago, or close to 3 years ago. And it was so hard to wait until I retired. I was going bonkers for 5 years. Like, I can't take it anymore. I know this is what I got to do. Why do I got to keep waiting? Why do I got to keep waiting? And then COVID came, and it was like, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I am not going to lose my opportunity by getting sick and never be able to do mediumship. So I retired early. And again, mediumship is a lifelong, I want to say eternal, lifelong pursuit, right? We're always learning and developing and changing. And I still take workshops. I'll continue to take workshops because I love learning. I love learning. So it's been a long time. I think I would kind of like, my hair would stand on end if I looked at the very beginning, my very first course, which was psychic development. And I think I was, oh boy, I think I was around 40, might have been my early 40s. Maybe I was around 45. And I don't want to tell you how old I am now, but I'm older than 45. So yeah, I think I was around 45, and the kids would just get like a little older and all that, and it was easier. But yeah, and everyone has their own unique journey. You can think that you want to do the mediumship, you do it for a little bit, and then life just gets too busy. You kind of put it down, you go on and do what you need to do, and then you come back. So there's no hard and fast rules about how to do it. It's following your gut, what's right for you. And that goes for your teacher, your mentor too. You find someone that you resonate with, because then, you know, what they have, I really feel when you have that, that sense of connection with someone, there's something that that person has to offer you for you to learn. It's almost like a soul-to-soul connection. That's what I think of it as. So when I have that feeling when I'm around someone or I'm meeting someone, I'm like, heads up, this person's important. They're going to show you something, teach you something. There's something that you need to know surrounded around this person. So I truly believe that for finding a mentor too. So, all right. Valerie says, I feel I need to wait for the kids. Yeah, a little older. And that's okay, Valerie. Divine timing. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you can't meditate, maybe read some books, etc. Walk in nature, right? You can do all that. And then when you're ready, have your journal, document experience, right? When dad comes, hi, how are you doing, dad? Things like that. So there's lots you can do. When you're ready to do training, then you're ready. That's what yeah. And you'll know, because you'll just like, oh, it's just like, oh, I got to do this. And you're like, oh, you're trying to find somewhere, find the right time, make the time work, make the day work. You just know this is something that you need to do for sure. That was like me, and now I'm taking healing classes because it was just something that I needed to do. I needed that expansion in my mediumship. I needed to deepen my understanding of the spirit world and how the healing dimension comes into it. So I knew. Took me time to get there, but that's okay. Now is the right time. Yeah, okay. So let me just get myself organized here. So just a reminder, so my intention is to work in service for the spirit world with the highest level of integrity. This afternoon, I'll relay evidence and messages from the spirit world to the very best of my ability, remembering that I'm human. Humans do mistakes or misinterpret things. I do this with the intention of demonstrating the survival of consciousness after death, and that our relationships and our soul is eternal, which is just so awesome, so awesome. So I'll just, if you can take about 80 to 100% of what I say, I just like you to say yes in the text box, and then I'll come to you and I'll give you a message. And I'm going to tell you one of my goals today. So one of my goals is, how many people do I have on? 16 people. All right. So my goal is to get to as many people as possible. Because as you know, I love to chat, and I tell you, when I connect with spirit, it's just so wonderful and healing. It's hard for me to say goodbye. I think it's hard for them to say goodbye too. So I'm going to put my intention in to do short readings this afternoon, so I can just tune in for, if not all, as many people as I can. All right. So now that I've said that, let's go. So if everyone just like to take a deep breath in, hold, just relax, release any worries, concerns, expectations held on from your day. Okay, and just realize that everything is as it should be, all is well. Just open up that heart space, welcome up in your loved ones in spirit. And just realize that your relationship with them is eternal. They do send you signs. They are around you. They do love you. And that this will be a time right now of healing, of a coming together. And please do listen to messages, because I feel there'll be a healing dimension to all of them for everybody. I know I receive healing after doing messages. It's quite a privilege. Okay. So... okay. So I have an older man in spirit. Wow. I want to say fairly old. I want to say like 80. I'm going to say about 86 or older. And he has a very good sense of humor. And he's saying that he took his age to... as an, like, what is this? I use my age to an advantage. And it's funny because he's saying things like, you know, when you describe older, like when younger people see older people, sometimes they get nervous. They're like, oh, I'm nervous. They scare me. They scare me. So he's saying he took advantage of that. And it's funny. He's using the words like crotchety, old and crotchety. He's saying old and crotchety. And then he used that to his advantage. And he's laughing about that. And he's showing himself as being like tall and thin. It's interesting, like very thin. And I know in terms of his mobility, he needed some kind of, it feels like it's like a cane or some kind of help in mobility. I almost feel like he's like stooped over, like his shoulders are stooped over. That's the impression that he's giving me. Okay. He's funny. He's saying, gave me a really good, gave me a really good excuse to be, what's the word he's using? It's not moody. It's not grouchy. It's like irritable. Gave me a reason to be irritable. He's saying it like that. Like he's getting a kick out of doing that. It's not, okay, let me see what else he wants to say. He's showing, okay. He's showing me his feet again. So I feel there's some connection to mobility, circulation. He keeps showing me his feet. Can anyone take an older gentleman? And I really want it. This feels like it's a grandfather figure to me. because he's much, much older. He's giving me that impression that he's much older. And he's making like a contrast between his generation and the younger generation. And almost like that kind of, that challenge with communicating between the older generation and the younger generation. And he's like, the younger, what's he saying? Like the younger generation didn't quite get me. And he goes like, I took a kick out of that and I used that to my advantage. So he keeps saying that. Can anyone take, I don't know. No one's saying anything. So I don't know if I'm stuck or not. And I feel that he might have used like it feels like it's a cane. He might have used a cane to point at things like this. Get me that, get me this, get me that. So there you go, Shannon. Okay, is this your grandfather, Shannon? Could be my, oh. Okay, all right, so we have two, possibly could be, okay. And I don't, like, again, it's like, this was what, it was like he had a cane, it was like pointing, like, get me that, get me this, get me, he's just, okay, all right, let me see why he's coming. He's not really telling me what he passed from, that's what I'm, okay. Something about a lot of work to be done, a lot of work to be done. What does he mean by that? Okay, let me look. It was either Shannon or Cheryl, right? Okay. Oh, your dad. Okay. In that way. Okay. For some reason, I feel like I'm being drawn to Shannon because he's saying there's a lot of work to be done, but he's showing me a house. You understand that? Like there's a lot of work to be done in the house. He keeps saying that. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done. He just keeps repeating that. So he's just acknowledging that there's a lot of work to be done in the home. Shannon? Yes. And it's funny how he's showing me that because in a sense, he's almost saying like the house is kind of like symbolic. Like it's like, what is he talking? Is it walls or like putting things, it's almost like drywall. I don't know. It feels like it's drywall, like he's lining up the drywall or putting the pieces together. And the way he's showing me, it's like drywall. Okay, I'm getting drywall, putting the pieces together, lining things up. It's time to clean up the mess. He likes the way you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. He's like, that's my girl. You see her, she just digs right in. She just digs right in. He's saying that to you, Shannon? Okay. Yeah, and it's like he's proud. He's proud. Do you see her go? He's saying that. Like, what? It's like she's got spunk, you know? She's not afraid to... It's like he's saying you're not afraid to be the leader. Do you understand that? Because he wants to acknowledge that you're leading in something. And I feel you're leading in this repair or of this home. He's saying you're leading in that. And he also says, it's funny, he's using the word, you're leading and being a negotiator. Do you understand that? And I feel this negotiation is like between, it almost feels like it's business related. Like I feel there's an element of family and business because he's saying negotiator. He's talking about you being a negotiator. Okay. Could go a couple ways. Okay. Let me just see what else. So he's talking about negotiating. Being a leader in negotiating. What are you negotiating? I feel like it's connected, some connection to like business or money. Are you negotiating a selling of a property? Why is he bringing that to mind for me? Does that resonate at all for you? That you'll have to be negotiating and selling something? He keeps saying that, negotiating. And I feel like it's connected to like business or money, this negotiating. Oh, I got it. Okay, that's what he's talking about. Okay, I understand. So Shannon was just saying kind of Airbnb. Okay, I understand. So that's what he's talking about. Okay, because I knew it was business. I knew there were people and somehow connected to family too. And there was an exchange of money. Okay, thank you. All right, let me just see what he wants to say about that. I'm going to cut this reading short in a moment because I promised I wasn't going to take a lot of time. But he's just acknowledging your mom. Is your mom, I don't know, he's making me feel that your mom's resistant to this or dragging her heels or not really on board 100%. Is that correct? With this B&B thing? That's what he's making me feel, because he's now drawing my attention to your mom. She's okay with it. Okay. I don't know. It's almost like, okay, what is it then? That she's just, that's what it is. Okay. Like not, for example, going out of her way to assist you and say, let me take on this role. Let me do that. That's what, okay, I understand. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go to the message. And he calls you, oh, it's like he's calling you my baby girl. I don't know if he ever called you that, but definitely terms of endearment. He's like saying, my baby girl, you can do anything you put your mind to. And he's saying like you got the smarts and you got it's like the motivation, that drive. You've got both those things to be a success. And he doesn't want you to question yourself. And he says, if you need, I don't know, how's he saying this? Like if someone gives you a hard time or that you got to stand up to somebody, I don't know, in terms of money or like something gets broken, he goes, tune in to me and I'm going to give you that energy to stand up to them so it's all worked out. Isn't that funny? It's almost like he's going to be your, you're going to laugh when you hear it. I almost want to say like he's going to be your gatekeeper, your earth gatekeeper, right? So if you have any problems, refer to him and he's going to give you that inspiration, that energy to deal with things in a matter of fact way. So you don't have any ongoing issues. So I hope you can take that. I hope you can take that, Shannon. So definitely rely on your dad because he's going to be there for you. And he's like, tune in to me, connect with me. I'm going to make sure there's something about nonsense. No nonsense. No nonsense. Okay. Like people too loud, people drinking, stuff like that. There'll be no nonsense when you connect with me. Okay, thank you very much. He was awesome. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, I feel I have a woman in spirit, and I have a connection to like a name, a connection to a name to her, and it's like a double barrel name. So it's like two names together that make one. So the names that I were getting was like Mary Ann, Rosemary. So it's a double barrel name. She's bringing my attention to a double barrel name, this lady. Okay, what do you want to? Interesting. She's, okay. It's not what I thought was. She's bringing my attention to, I'm just going to say what I'm getting. I'm seeing somebody in overalls, blue overalls. Okay, I'm just feeling into this. Who is this person she's bringing my attention to? May even be her. Like, I'm seeing blue overalls, looks like a red t-shirt, and they're wearing like a straw hat, almost like a sun's straw hat. And I definitely have this feeling of like the country, the land, lots of land, the country, almost like a farm, a feeling of a farm with this lady. It's funny, she just keeps showing me all these things connected to farms. It's like I'm seeing, seeing a barn, I'm seeing a tractor. And it's funny, so I'm just going to say this. It's like I'm getting some kind of reference to, I don't know if anyone ever watched that show or knew of that show, but the show, you know, Hee Haw? Hee Haw? I don't know where I'm getting Hee Haw. Rosemary that lived on a farm at one time. Oh boy, okay. Sounds like Aunt Mary and her dad. Okay. That's Cheryl, so you could take both of those individuals. Okay. Sorry, you said Aunt Mary. I'm just going to write that down because I did have, oh, you had a Mary too, Shannon. Okay. I just want to write this down because you know what happens? I forget my train of thought. Okay. Aunt Mary lived on a farm at one. Okay. And her dad. Because I have two people. Okay. 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 I don't know if there's some connection with Hee Haw. Remember that show Hee Haw? And, oh boy. Now they're giving me like Green Acres. Green Acres, you know, Green Acres is the place to be. I'm getting Green Acres. I'm getting Hee Haw. And what they're relaying to me is this simpler life. They're saying simpler life. Simpler life. They keep talking about that. And the joy and the simpler life. And then they're giving memories of things like, you know, sunrise, sunset. Like the birth of a birth of an animal. It may even be like a lamb, like a birth of an animal. They keep showing me all these simple things in life. And it's funny because they're bringing, you know, working hard and the simple ways of life together. So they're all, what they're saying is like, you need to work hard. What do they say? You need to work hard. So working hard is important. It is important. Do you know what I mean? To have a focus, to be motivated, to have a passion and a purpose. All those things are important to have. Because when you have those things, then you're able to observe and see the simple things that really bring you the pleasure and love in your life. But it's through, yeah, it's not like just working hard, like sweating, digging like that. It's not that. It's about understanding your passions and putting in that effort and moving forward. That brings the most important, the most simple, the most meaningful rewards to you. They're saying it just like that. Cheryl said she grew up on a farm, my husband's mom and grandpa. Okay. And wow, if you want to talk about people that are like, what do they say? You know, people connected to the earth. These are people connected to the earth. Like, it's almost like, what are they, that like they understand the natural laws and the cycle of the the land, of the world, of the, I want to go like the universe. And they're just saying so much love, so much peace, so much simplicity. Okay, I'm just going to ask them what the message is, because that was awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. They're talking too about, it may be a memory that someone has in the family, Cheryl, or maybe yourself or your husband. They keep talking about a birth. But when I'm a birth, okay, but I feel like a birth of an animal. Perhaps I'm almost getting the sensation or the feeling like perhaps your husband experienced the birth of an animal for the first time, and there was almost like some, I don't know, they make it feel like it was like significant, like it was almost like a spiritual learning experience. It's like the miracles of life, they're saying to me, like the miracles of life, being able to witness that and see that helps the person to move forward in life with a, how are they saying this? Like a basic understanding of how the world works, how nature works, that will never lead you astray. You can always go back to that, and it's going to lead you along that path. I hope what I'm saying resonates with you, Cheryl. Okay, let me just see if, okay. They want to acknowledge your husband's, okay. I keep hearing good boy, good boy, good boy. And I feel that they're referring to your husband, because they're saying good boy, good boy. And I'm also have this feeling like, and again, they're just bringing this work hard. So they're talking about some kind of lesson, that balance, right? Following your passion, working hard in this simpler way of life. So now they're talking about good boy, and I feel this is connected to your husband, and I feel like he needs a reminder of this. He needs a reminder. That's what it is. They're coming forward to give him a reminder of this simpler way of life, connecting to the land, to the miracles that are all around you. I understand. Okay. And it's like, I don't know. I keep getting like working too hard. I don't know is he having like physical symptoms from the result of stress or something? They're just drawing my attention to like not relax, not in the flow, like stress, tension. So that's the message. It's for okay, I understand, for your husband, about remembering. Okay. They just keep saying, remind him to look at like the sunset, the sunrise. They keep saying that, remind him. And then like I'm hearing like roosters and chickens and the farm's waking up. And it's a brand new day. It's a brand new day. It's not the same old stuff. It's a brand new day for anything to take place, for anything to happen. So that's kind of the message for you and your family. And I'm going to leave you with all their love. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Okay. Okay. I've just been given the name Frank or Frankie. Can someone take that name, Frank? I got Frank at first, and then I got Frankie. Connection to the name Frank or Frankie. I think it feels like it's a friend coming through. Because I feel that energy of kind of like buddies, roughhousing. Hey, Frankie. Sorry, that's how I'm receiving. I'm hearing it. Like they're calling out, Frankie. Okay. And I'm getting a connection. It feels like this gentleman worked like in kind of like a blue collar kind of job. I don't know, I'm seeing like, feels like it's like a garage. I'm seeing tools, noise. And I feel that they could have been colleagues that worked together. Can anyone take this gentleman? He's just like, he's saying, I always worked hard. I always worked hard. Okay. I feel this gentleman, all of a sudden I'm coughing a lot. This gentleman, wow, okay. I was about to say passed from a heart attack, and now I'm questioning myself here, but I have some kind of like issues with breathing. And I feel that this gentleman may have been a smoker. Oh, and Uncle Frank. Oh, Cheryl. Oh, darn it. Okay. Can you take any of the information that I've given about the Uncle Frankie? So maybe he was just calling out and giving his name. Like, Frankie. And I don't feel like it's him yelling. I feel like someone's yelling at him. It's very odd how I'm getting that. I take it, you take it all. Okay. Frankie. Like, I just keep hearing that. So it's almost like he's giving me memories. And I feel like where he worked was loud or busy and people would call in to get his attention. Very loving gentleman. Loved people, loved socializing. It's funny. All of a sudden, like when I was just thinking of you there, Sharon, he's just saying like, that it's like he's talking about like that little lady, like he's talking about you with fondness. And I feel that he got a real kick out of you. Like, would there be like joking, kind of like, I know I said rough housing, but you know what I mean? That kind of joking and teasing and that kind of relationship. Can you take that? There you go. Okay. Sorry if I felt that, you know, my husband's Italian. So I was like, Frankie. And I think I even put my hand up. So sorry if I'm being kind of stereotypical there. Yeah. And that teasing, that kind of teasing, that kind of, he keeps bringing his attention to you. Like that lovely lady. That lovely little lady. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't she kind? Isn't she? It's like talking about watching her grow up, watching her become a woman, watching her grow up. He goes, and then all of a sudden he's talking about his heart aching, like, you miss him a great deal. Is that correct, Cheryl? Because it's like he's giving me the impression like missing one another, missing that that relationship that I feel was unique. He was an important part of the family. I do know that. He's well missed because he's like that. He's just acknowledging that like heartache, like that personality, that big character, you know, is kind of, you know, it's almost like, yeah, okay, because he's saying that. He's very aware of that. He's very aware of that. I don't know. I feel that he had some kind of a nickname for you, and I'm sorry, I'm not quite getting it. It might have even been a like Italian word, like it's like I love you. Then he says something, Chia. I don't know what he's saying. I love you. And then it's, I don't know, it's a word I just can't get. I think it's in another language, but he's just saying that, okay. And it's funny because he's saying, he's saying something about like acknowledging that like the light just dimmed a little bit. Do you understand that? With him not there, here on the earth plane, it's like, you know, things weren't quite as bright, things weren't quite as funny, things weren't quite as big, things weren't quite as Frankie would have it. He's saying it like that. He's just acknowledging that. And he's just saying, that's okay. I understand. That's the grieving process. But hey, he's like, hey, that's right, good. And he just said, hey, then he used your nickname. I'm always with you. What's up? What's up? What's up about this? Stop this. Stop this. It's like, wipe your tears. Get on with it. Wipe your tears. Stop this now. I'm always with you. You can hear me. He's saying you can hear me. You can hear me. So he's even like, jokes or the way he spoke would be in the back of your mind. Like he's making me speak a certain way, would be in the back of your mind. He's like, that's me. I'm planting that there. I'm saying, hey, I'm here. It's like, hey, I'm here. I'm here for a good time. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm here for the good times. I'm here. I'm here. And, yeah. He's just, I'm going to wrap this up now, but he's just kind of acknowledging other people too. Okay. He's acknowledging other people in the family. Okay. All right. I just didn't want to go down a whole other pathway right now. So I'm just going to keep it really light. I don't know if walnuts are of any significance, but he's showing me walnuts. Or if there's a funny story about walnuts. And I don't know, I'm seeing walnuts like in the shell, walnuts. Okay, so I said I would say walnuts. And I'm going to leave you with all his love, Cheryl. So thank you very much. All right. Awesome. Frankie was awesome. Reminds me of one of my my relatives. Reminds me a little bit of my husband. My husband's like that too. Yes, walnuts you can take. Awesome. My husband's like that. When he walks in a room, he's big, he's loud. Everyone knows he's arrived and everyone's ready for a good time. Sorry. Okay, let me just see if I can. Oh, boy. What am I getting here? Okay, I'm just seeing an image and I'm hearing. I just keep hearing duck, 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 like duck. And then I'm being given the image of a lake, and it feels like it's like a floaty, or you know, one of those floaty toys on the lake. Seeing a dock. It's funny, I'm seeing like, I don't know what this is. Is this like a guitar? Someone's playing a guitar. So music, I'm getting duck, I'm getting a floaty on the lake. I feel, it's almost like being serenaded. Is that a funny thing? Being serenaded by somebody who's in the water. I feel like they're in the water, like in maybe like a rubber boat or a floaty, and they're playing like it's either like a guitar or it's like a ukulele, and they're being kind of silly and like they're serenading. And I feel it's like a woman on the dock, and I feel it's a gentleman that's doing the serenading or the singing, or maybe even like pretending they got a guitar, and like that's the whole image I'm getting. And it feels like it's at a lake. Feels like it's at a cottage. Then I hear, it's like a memory. And then I hear the woman on the dock saying like, oh, don't be silly. What are you doing? You're going to ground yourself. So it's almost like I'm seeing the water's getting shallower, you know, and it's sandy. It's like they're going to get stuck in whatever thing they're floating on or whatever. It could even be like a boat or, wow, can anyone take it? It's very specific, all these things I'm getting. Okay, what, you got to help me out here. Give me some more. I know it's the gentleman in spirit. He was referring to a memory with a woman. And like he's almost like singing to me. It's kind of like, you know, our love will never end. Da, da, da. It's like he's serenading me now. Okay. Lise, are you still here, Lise? I don't know if Lisa's still here or Valerie. I don't know. It really feels like your father. I'll just see if they're here. It feels like their father. And if they've left, I can go on and I won't get anybody to, okay, let me just ask. He's just saying like, I love you all. I love you all. And he's just showing me memory, the kids running around, lots of laughter and yelling and fun and playing tag and just this lightheartedness in that whole view. Oh, did you leave and now you're back? Oh boy. How am I gonna get, okay, you gotta help me now. You gotta help me. Okay, I had a gentleman. First of all, I had ducky, ducky, duck. Like I kept getting duck, 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 like a duck. And then I had like, it felt like it was a floaty toy or something in the lake, in the water. And I saw a gentleman. He was either in this floaty or some kind of floating boat or something. And he was singing and he was giving me the image of either like a guitar or like a ukulele or something. And I don't know if it was actually a real one. He was pretending, like singing. And there was a woman on the dock and they're saying, oh, don't be silly. You're going to ground yourself. And he's like serenading. Can you take that, Valerie? And then he gave me, like, he's just showing me memories. And then he's showing me, like I'm seeing, like green grass and I'm seeing little ones running around. I'm hearing like laughter and yelling and playing tag. And he's like just saying the perfect picture, the perfect picture. He's saying it just like that. So he's just acknowledging, it's like, what a beautiful life. And you know, I don't know if you know that song, what a beautiful life, da, 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 da. And it just repeats, what a beautiful, that he's bringing that to me. What a beautiful life, what a beautiful life. So he's just reminding everyone of those moments and how important those moments are to him. And he's saying, those moments are like they just occurred right now at this moment. He's saying that. It's like, it's right now, it's happening. That's how real it is with the kids. Okay, thank you. So I think it could have been symbolic. So I'm just going to explain so the feeling was about, okay, let me just go back there. Show me again. It's like about being yourself, expressing yourself, being silly. Oh, is that interesting? And almost like about like it's like he's talking about like allow this flow, allow this flow. He's talking about a flow. Allow this flow to come in. Allow me to serenade you. Allow me to bring this energy. Because he was showing me this, the woman on the dock, and that she was saying, don't be silly, don't ground yourself. So it was almost like the flow, like he's, so I know there's something important in that for you. So I'm just going to share that. Let me just see if there's anything else he wants to say. And he's just saying, don't forget those moments. Don't forget to be in the moment. Don't forget those moments, because it's like those moments are coming back. Those moments are being recreated. You're moving in that direction. Oh, there's the direction again with the flow. I understand. So he's saying you're moving in that direction. So I'm going to leave you with all his love. But he came through in a hilarious way. So just be aware of duck. If that word duck pops up, or you start seeing ducks, or you whatever, just watch for ducks, because he just kept saying duck, 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 duck. Okay, thank you. Yes, that's what I said. Beautiful green backyard and running around, and yes, absolutely. So I just wanted to share that with you, Valerie. All right. I'll see if I can do one more. I wanted to do as many as I could today. Okay. Okay, I feel that I have a male in spirit, and I have the name Bert. Bert connected to him. And I feel Bert, you're so welcome, Valerie. I feel Bert was, I don't know what that means. If I say that, I don't know what that means. And I feel that Bert was a bit of a, I don't know, I'm going to say it, but I don't know what it means. Like a hard hitter. Does that make sense? Like a tough guy. Tough. Would hold his ground. I know lots of males today, aren't they? Lots of males today, and we're ready and lined up. So this Bert, I felt like he was like a tough guy, like a tough guy. He wasn't a guy of big stature, but like tough in his tough in his like interactions with people. Like people would know, oh, don't fool with him. Don't fool with him. I also feel that he had, talking about like street smarts, understood the street, could survive on the street. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's funny you saying that. Like, I'm not one of those little kind of like wallflower type of people. I could take the hits and I could give the hits. Now, his name may not necessarily be Bert, but there might be a Bert connected to him. It's funny, like he's showing himself to me like in the city. I'm seeing him like on the street, like on the sidewalk. I'm just getting him to show me more. Like I'm not sure if he's trying to show me that he's like in construction. Like a city worker type of thing. I played hard and I worked hard. He's giving me all these. It's like I could drink with the best of them. I see a lot of males around him, like a lot of buddies. He had a lot of buddies. Sure feels like it's some kind of construction to me. He keeps showing me like cements. Okay, what else? Isn't that interesting? I was just asking why he came through, and he was just saying to me, I want people to know that, like, not everyone is like, I don't want to use the word angel, but I can't get another word from him. I want everyone to know that I want everybody to know that not everyone is like perfect. Because he wants to acknowledge that he wasn't perfect, because he has some amends to make. He's very serious. And I feel that this gentleman may have even been like incarcerated at some time, or had some trouble with the law. And he's showing himself like with a, what's that called? Like an after eight shadow, like on his face. What does he want to say? No one can take this gentleman, eh? Okay, let me just see what else. It's almost like he's, he got, how's he saying this? Like he got, sounds like my husband. I don't know a Bert, but my husband's name is Brent. Okay, I could have been a little off, and I got the B there. Okay, thank you. Can you take about having like street smarts, perhaps having something with the law at some point? Because I feel like he needs to acknowledge that he got, it's like he got involved in something that he didn't quite understand. What's he trying to say? He didn't quite understand the ramifications of it. Like it seemed like a simple deal, but it wasn't simple. Do you understand? There's always strings attached. That's what he's saying. There's always strings attached. Okay, and this is your husband, Alexandra? Okay, let me see what he wants to say. Because he's coming through to acknowledge all these things. He's saying to me that it's better in some stuff. Okay. He's saying to me that it's better to be an upstanding citizen. It's almost like he's saying, if I had the choice again, it's much better to go this direction and be an upstanding citizen than to make a buck. So he's just showing the awareness of that. It's almost like he's saying, like, I wasn't even conscious of the fact that I could make the decision. And I think, what he's saying, I feel it has a lot to do with the people that were around him, if you can take that. Because I feel like there was some kind of like influence of people around him. Because he just keeps acknowledging these people, this group of guys. So it's kind of like, once you get, it's almost like, once you get in that group, it's hard to get out, kind of. Because at that point, he's saying, it's about respect. It's about loyalty. And he's like, even if it's like misdirected, he's talking about this kind of guy group. This guy group. He's talking about this guy group. Okay. Let me see what his message is for you. Okay. Saying, I want you to remember me, how I like truly am. He's saying it like that. And then as he says that, it's almost like what he's showing me in the they're like being like, oh, like I feel this like more of a gentleness, like a kindness in there. that, I don't know, it's almost like he's saying, like, I packed that away, I pushed that down, but she knows about that. She saw that in me. She saw the good in me. She knows that. She knows that. I want her to remember that, because that's who I am now. I want you to remember that. He's saying that. Do you have a daughter, Alexandra? I just was feeling he was identifying like a younger female. So I just wanted to confirm if you had a daughter. Because it's like he's identifying, I feel it's like a younger female, and he's bringing things like their vulnerability and taking care, protecting them. It's like establishing rules, following through. Okay, so there's something about his daughter, about protecting her, following through. So he's acknowledging her. Let me see if he wants to say something about, okay. I don't know if you're in touch with his daughter at all, but he keeps giving me this feeling that she's at a vulnerable point in her life for some reason. So I don't know if you ever connect with her at all. So he wants me to tell you that for some reason. So I don't know if you ever run into her. And I almost feel like it might be something similar to her dad, like possibly wrong influence there, wrong influence. I just feel wrong influence there. Something that, you know, establish, okay. All right, so something there. I'm just going to leave that part. And then now with the boys, he's just saying again, he's just repeating this, establish the routine and the rules. He's saying how important that is, routine and rules. And he's saying, you know, I'm looking out for them. I've got their back. Is there one that, oh, in another state, okay. Maybe he just wanted to acknowledge that. Who knows, maybe there's going to be some kind of connection in some way where you can just check in on her. Do you have does one of your sons ride a bike or a motorcycle? He keeps showing me that, a bike or a motorcycle. Is one of your boys particularly like fascinated or loves their bike or wants to get a motorcycle, or because he's drawing my attention to that? An electric bike. There you go. Compass. Okay. Thank you. Okay. What does he want to say about this boy? He's saying that he's very similar to him. He's making some connection between this son and him. And he's saying he has a little bit of that, what is he? That little bit of that wild side, that little bit of a rebel in him. If you can take that, Alexandra. So he's just acknowledging that. It's like, you know, it's almost like keep tabs on him. He's saying that, like, keep tabs on him. So the other ones, like, love them all, but it's just like this one he's just focusing on, that he might need a little bit more attention. And that whole thing about rules, routine, establishing it. This is the way it is. How is he saying this? It's funny what he's showing me, because he's showing me things like when he goes out, where are you going? Who are you with? What time will you be back? And it's like that following through. Always make sure that he follows through. Don't let things slide. Do you understand this? He's saying that, like that follow through. Make him know that he's responsible for his end. That's interesting. It's almost like his end of the bargain. You understand? Like you're the mom, he's the son. This is your responsibility. This is your part. The part of, I don't know what those word here is. This is your part, what you are responsible for, what you need to bring to the family. Okay. And there's one son he's saying is very more emotional. Can you take that? I don't know why he's showing tears with one son. I almost want to say it feels like the younger one. Like tears. And it's just with the younger son, he's just saying, you know, let him speak his piece. Give him space to speak. There's something about giving him space to speak, Alexandra. If you can make sure that you hold that space for the youngest one. And it's funny because he's saying to me, okay, there we go. Thank you. Or okay. But it's funny that you, even when you say that, he's saying something about them being artistic. Do you understand that? Being artistic, giving them the opportunity to be creative, like in terms of like it could be anything at all. It could be like painting. It can be like sand art. It can be, I mean, I don't know why he's showing me beans. I don't know. He's showing me beans. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you can even get like a bag of kidney beans and you can glue them and make patterns and you can make mosaics. And he's just showing me that they're very artistic. And there's going to be, it's funny. It's like, he's saying like there's going to be hope. There's going to be good, progress, development in integrating this creativity for them to be able to express themselves. So he's just saying that. Okay. All right. Thank you. And he's acknowledging your mother. Is your mother assisting you, Alexandra? He's just bringing my mind to your mother and something about your mother and the relationship with your mother. And, oh, my dog's making funny noises. Yes, she's, okay. So he's acknowledging that. He's aware of that. And he's just being firm, like, and you let her help, right? You let her help, you take those breaks. Okay. I don't know if you've, I'm just going to share this because he was just sharing with me. It looked like it was either a fox or coyote. So I don't know if you have some kind of connection to those animals, fox or coyote, or if it's like a logo, or there's something about fox and coyote he keeps showing me. So if you can't take that as something that's important right now in your life, I just want you to be aware, just to be aware of signs of a fox and a coyote. He's saying that. I'm just going to go back because you said she kind of does help. Okay. So there's a reason that he said let her help. So how can you let her help? By animals, not sure what the animals are about. Okay, can you just keep that in mind about the fox and the coyote? Because he definitely showed me that, fox and coyote. And again, sorry, I just want to go back to your mother because he was saying about, you know, you also expressing what you need. You understand that? And I feel this is connected to your mother. It would be great if you could help me for a moment and I'll go to the grocery store or something like that. So he's just saying that. Okay. I'm just going to ask her one more time about the fox and the coyote. I think it's a fox. Keep showing me a red fox. It's funny. And then now I'm getting connection to, you know, Aesop's fables. And there's a fable about, what is it? Is it about, the picture? Is there a fox in that? Like a picture with, like, what is it, a crow? And one of that, they want to get a drink of water, the animals. So the crow keeps putting the rocks in the pitcher so then the level of the water will rise so they can get water. Okay, that's interesting that he's sharing that with me. So it's almost like he's saying, you know, step by step by step. Okay, step by step. Take it one day at a time, step by step. I'm supporting you. The boys are going to be fine. He wants to say that. The boys are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I don't know if you can take the name Jordy. I just heard Jordan pop into my head. And he's also saying that the eldest will assist in some way, like with the young ones, like that relationship is building. So never fear that you're there alone, because he's going to assist too. His fondness, his love for them. Okay. He's just acknowledging all that, the family love, the family unit. And I'm going to leave you with all his love, Alexandra. So thank you very much for working with me. I appreciate that. And just keep, you know, just be aware of fox and see if that image pops up or those words pop up in the next little while as a sign from your husband. So thank you so much. So again, with your husband, just to relay, right? He was there to acknowledge what happened and in the past, and then he's acknowledging the family and what you're doing. So lots of love to you. So thank you everyone for coming this evening. I got a few readings done. I got to be good and make them a little shorter next week. I promise I will. So just as a reminder, oh, thank you so much. And just as a reminder, please keep your heart brave and your imagination wild, because anything is possible. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Lots of love.